again, and I will be talking about my research assignment. It's going to be over the article called No Silence, No Spiral, Public Expression of Opinion Tested in a Realistic Setting. So this whole experiment was to see how the spiral silence theory looked and interacted and was used in a more general setting, something that was more realistic to each and every one of us. Most of the time, when they were doing research on this topic, they found that they were doing write-in surveys or phone-in surveys over hypothetical situations, and for a lot of them, the research, the results, they started thinking about, well, hey, are these results actually true, or are they skewed just because we're thinking we'd act like that, but we're not actually in the situation, so we don't know. So they did this by, they got 60 kids from a college, and they said, would you like to participate in a group discussion? It's going to be over some political questions, and they got 60 kids to say that they would participate, and they willingly participate. And what they did is that they brought each of the 60 kids one by one into a room, and inside that room there would be two other kids, but these two students would actually be the two set students, so they would almost just be like they were always there. They were just the set students, so they were constantly interacting with each and every other student, so not to add another variable into the situation. So what would happen is that they got a little survey, and one of the questions would be, do you think Turkey should join the EU? And you had four options, so you had strongly agree, disagree, and strongly disagree. And the whole goal of this research assignment, with that that little area right there, was just to see what they pick initially, and how it would be viewed against what they would go and discuss later, which was coming up. But they just wanted to see, like, once again, this is the realistic situation now, so they're going to see how it plays out in a situation that's more public and is actually dealing with other people instead of hypothetical. So once they discussed, or once they circled their answers on that sheet, they then went into another room where they did a presentation. Now, they would do a presentation on whether or not Turkey should be in the EU. And the guy that was running the presentation, that was the supervisor, was once again a set person, so it wasn't adding another variable. But he would get a random call from an outside source saying which slideshow to choose on the presentation. It was either majority for Turkey joining the EU, or the majority against Turkey joining the EU. And it would just see if they saw this presentation, if it would sway their opinion, knowing that the public thought that Turkey should either join or they shouldn't join. The two students that were set would also come in, but they would fight. One would fight for Turkey joining, one would fight against. So not to add, once again, any variables, but it would just show that it wasn't through the public, the people right there. It was almost through the stimulus, the presentation, and knowing that the majority, not just the two people there, but the majority thought that Turkey should or shouldn't join the EU. And what the results showed was that actually only 10% of those students actually changed their response. So I mean, still there was a change, but it wasn't as drastic as some research has shown before. And it just, it was trying to show that there isn't, maybe as strict guidelines and strict assessment of the theory as we thought. And once you start applying that theory into real life situations, it's not as procedural as it comes off to be. All the assumptions don't always work, just because they were used to be hypothetical situations. So they just said that our showing showed that the spiral theory, the spiral of silence theory, is still present in our experiment, but it just it presented some new questions to start asking and to start researching on the spiral of theory, or the spiral of silence theory. Sorry about that. And to see where else this theory could go, and to see if this could be more fine-tuned and made into a more productive and more useful theory that could be more utilized in the public. Thanks, guys.